Hello there, everybody. Just a quick little post-game report from yesterday with some thoughts related to some things you could study this week as we immerse ourselves in the book of Acts. Yesterday, we started a little introduction into the series, and we looked at Acts, focused on Acts 1 to well, really, the focus was Acts 1:8, and so as part of this week, this past week, looking at Acts 1 to 3. This week, focus on Acts 4, 5, and 6, and I would also just, if you're looking for some things as far as spending some time looking at the text this week, take a look at the themes that we looked at from Acts 1:8. Pay attention to when the Holy Spirit is mentioned. Remember, they're empowered. We receive power to be witnesses. Pay attention to the Holy Spirit. Pay attention to and look for all those references. Just in the first 5 chapters, we covered, I don't remember now exactly, I think 10 different references about witnessing to resurrection. And again, noting the verses around that particular phrase, we were witnesses to the resurrection. There's quite a few of those that are worth memorizing that really give a full gospel picture of all that it is that we believe. So pay attention and take note, underline, write down, journal on those references that we looked at this last week, and just pay special attention to those. What we're going to be looking at this next Sunday are some of the practices of the church, some of the habits and things that we see recurring. So pay attention to those. Certainly through Acts 1 to 6 now, you'll see a number of examples, descriptions of some of the habits and descriptions. So again, if you're journaling, this will be a great way to even just put some columns together, because we're going to see these throughout the book. But pay references to the Holy Spirit, references to how they were called to be witnesses to the resurrection, and things that they said related to that. And then also practices of the church. What were the habits? What were the practices? What are things that we see they were doing? I'll give you one clue for at least this Sunday, looking for words where it says they were devoted to. What kind of things were they devoted to? That's a big indicator of some of the practices and habits of the early church there, and things that we ought to be. If they were devoted to them, then we might want to consider looking at, are we being devoted to those same things? And then so reading Acts 1 to 6, and just noting those things for this week. And then lastly, we're not going to touch on this Sunday, but it's something that we will be coming up on in the next couple of weeks, the latter part of June. And we'll see this, though, in this reading. Start paying attention to the pressure that the church starts getting because of the annoyance as it grows of the world towards the Christians, that they did not want to hear what they had to say. And the thing I want to keep noting, and I want to keep noting this, is, and maybe even start a column on this one now, but how did they react to the pressure, the persecution, and even in this week's readings, we'll begin to see jail time. I mean, how did they react to the opposition and the persecution that they started to experience? Again, those are things that are noteworthy as we're reading, and that's another theme we're going to see a lot through our entire study of the book of Acts. So that being said, continue to immerse yourself in the book of Acts this week. Certainly take a look at Acts 1 to 6 this week, 1 to 3 from last week if you haven't, 4 to 6 this week. If you haven't, try to at some point, even in a couple sittings, be able to read the entire book. Keep in mind those Bible Project videos. If you haven't taken a look at those are a great overview with a lot of insight into what it is that we're studying in the book of Acts as well. So blessings to you as you study. We'll see you this week. Pray we'll see you Sunday.